This is a Marketing for Learning podcast, the only podcast in the world that's guaranteed to increase your knowledge, skills, and capabilities when it comes to marketing for learning. Plus, there's a gratuitous amount of pineapples. You're welcome.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketing for Learning podcast. It's Hannah here with you today, and I've got a bone to pick about L&D's opinions on marketing campaigns. So I had a call last week with a client, and there was a few stakeholders on the call, and one of them, quite honestly, and I really respect this, said to me, Hannah, I don't believe in the marketing campaign approach. You do a campaign and then you end up at rock bottom again when the campaign is over. Well, it will be no surprise to anyone listening to this that I disagree. And I kind of want to share my thoughts on that topic because if you're listening to this, I doubt you agree with what the guy said to me. But I wouldn't be surprised if you come up against people that think and feel the same. So in this podcast episode, I want to talk about why marketing campaigns are a great way to create long-term learning engagement with your audience. All right, so first things first, what is a campaign? A Marketing for Learning campaign is a strategic effort, an organised effort to promote learning to boost engagement. It's not one email. It's not one poster. It's not one video. It's an amalgamation of a range of tactics that come together to work in sync with one another to promote your learning offering, to make sure people are aware of your learning offering, that they're interested in your offering, that they want to get involved with it, and then ultimately, hopefully, we can instigate action. We teach that learning campaigns are made up of 6 steps. The first is always defining your goal. Your goal may be to increase awareness, or it may be to get 15% more people using your learning platform frequently. Something along those lines. It may be to increase awareness on a particular product or a project or an initiative or a program. But we need to understand what we're trying to do with our campaign. A campaign should be focused on a particular topic or initiative. You then want to identify who you're targeting with this campaign. This is something, again, that stakeholders in L&D struggle with. You don't have to target everyone all the time. I've also previously, not with the same conversation, had somebody say to me that, well, that's unfair, that's discrimination, you're leaving people out if you're not targeting everyone at all times. No, it's providing the best possible services targeted to the persona's wants and needs. So it will more relate to your persona. It will create more impact. It will get more people learning. It will get you to your end goal quicker. But hey, that's a rant for another day. Then you want to define your channels that you're going to use. So whether that's email, whether it's Teams, whether it's Workplace for Business, whether it's Slack, whether it's posters in your kitchen, whether it's videos on the screen, whether it's your intranet, there's so many different tactics and channels that we can use. But you also want to identify a hook for your campaign, one thing to unite it all. And then you need to make sure you have the right resources to do that. Step 5, and you might assume this would have been the last step, is to plan and execute it. Write yourself a plan, get going. Get that campaign out there. The final step is actually testing and optimizing your campaign. Every time you do a campaign, you should be learning something new about what tactics work for a particular part of your audience, what doesn't work, what does work, what subject lines work, what channels you should be using, ways to make yourself more efficient, so on and so forth. When you consider a Marketing for Learning campaign in that sense, I think many people would realise what's being called a campaign in other organisations isn't quite a full campaign. Often it's just repetitive noise about one topic. That's not what a campaign is. A campaign brings a topic to life. It grabs attention. It gets butts moving. So when somebody says to me, I don't believe they work, I almost want to say, well, I don't think your campaigns are very good, but I'm far too professional to do that. All right, so why do I think marketing campaigns are so important for L&D? Well, if I'm blunt and I give you my instinctive answer, it's because campaigns are a damn sight better than this one email, one time approach we seem to take in L&D. All too often, owners of learning projects, programs, initiatives just want to send an email. They just want to send out an email and say, hey guys, it's here. And if you're really honest with yourself for a moment and you sit back and you think, how many emails have I deleted today? And how many of them did I not even read properly? You know that's a big number. So surely taking the approach of using more than one channel, spreading our message over a period of time, really deliberately trying to engage people with our learning, that is going to create more impact than sending one email. And what's the alternative? Sending 2 emails? Putting up a Slack post, an email, and a banner advert all in the same day, but then not doing anything else with it? You're not going to get the impact that you actually want. So why would we keep doing the same thing over and over again? When it comes to communications and marketing for learning, we've got to start doing something differently. And I'd love for anybody to go to a marketer at Apple, Netflix, TikTok, Google, Coca-Cola. Yes, I am just naming brands that I can see now. But I'd love for someone to go to a senior marketer at any of those companies and say, hey, I don't think marketing campaigns work. Because they'd laugh you out the room. There is a reason that these huge organisations spend budgets that we can't even dream of on marketing campaigns. There's a reason that John Lewis do a Christmas advert every year, that the supermarkets compete over their adverts, that they do big campaigns, that Compare the Market, which is an insurance comparison site, do multiple campaigns a year with their meerkats. There is a reason marketing campaigns are so popular in the external world. And to say that then they wouldn't work for L&D literally just blows my mind. Alright, I'll stop being so facetious now. I do kind of get it. I get why some stakeholders in learning functions don't think campaigns work. I do stick to what I said earlier, is that I think you don't think they work because your campaigns haven't been very good. But let's say, for argument's sake, the campaigns are brilliant. The campaigns really do work. Why would these people not think learning campaigns work? And I do know the answer. One campaign, once in a blue moon, is not going to create a learning culture. The person I referenced at the beginning of this podcast who said, well, I don't believe they work. You do all this work and then they go back to rock bottom. He's not wrong. If you're only sending one campaign and you're just doing it once, you will capture attention during that time, assuming your campaign's brilliant. You will grab the attention of your audience. You will get butts moving. But if you go back to doing nothing, zilch, nada, now straight back to baseline 0, they're going to forget about you. We all live such busy lives. It's hard to remember everything that we need to. It's hard to remember our to-do list to get our jobs done. So they're not going to just remember learning because of that one campaign that was really good. If you ask them, hey, what do you think of when you think of L&D? They might recall, but they're not thinking about it every single day. And that is why Ash and I often talk about something that we call staying front of mind, making sure your target audience are constantly thinking about you. You are consistently reminding them about you. So as a little callback to the last episode that I recorded of this podcast, I spoke to you about the hum, sing and shout methodology. To make sure your marketing campaigns really work, you need to be getting your hum content right. It's an ongoing communication with your target audience. It never stops. When your campaigns are happening, your hum content still needs to be going on. If you fall into silence, that's when people are going to forget about you. So you need to pay as much attention to your consistent communication and the way you are staying front of mind as you do to your campaigns. If you picture the hum, sing and shout methodology as a typical graph with activity along the left-hand side and time along the bottom, about a quarter of the way up, you will see hum. Then overlaid on that, you will see your sing and your shout campaigns. When you look at that, the wave that would have gone from nothing to a campaign peak back to nothing is reduced. The wave isn't as big because people are then hitting your hum content. So you're grabbing their attention and then you're keeping it. You're keeping it before you go on to your next campaign or before you nudge them into action. Your hum content is a critical part of getting marketing for learning right. Consistency is key. We talk so much here at Mass about everything L&D are competing with. You're not just competing with other learning functions. You're not just competing with other learning platforms. You're competing with TikTok. You're competing with Google, YouTube, all these huge, easily accessible companies where your audience can go to learn. And then let's not even get on to the thing that you're competing with, their email inboxes and their social media notifications and their children and their dogs and their washing baskets and all of that stuff. We're competing with a lot. So we have to be consistent. We have to keep humming at our audience to make sure that we are always front of mind. Now that doesn't mean that you need to add to the noise that already exists in pretty much every organisation worldwide. It means that you need to think outside the box. Could you use some banner adverts to aid recall? Could you put up some posters? Sponsor an event? I don't know. It depends on your organisation, but you need to think of ways that you're humming, that you're making sure people are constantly thinking of the learning interventions that you are providing them. Without doing that, your campaigns will be massive peaks and then falling into absolute silence again. And that's not what we want. In L&D, we want to create long-term behavioural change, long-term engagement, long-term impact. This isn't a sale. This isn't the Christmas sales and you just want people to get through your door so that you're making the most money in a short period of time. Absolutely everything we do should be focused on the long-term end goal. Even in a campaign, your campaign goal should feed into your long-term L&D strategy goal. If you have an L&D strategy, which again, another conversation for another time. So I hope this podcast episode has given you a little bit of food for thought. Maybe some ammo to push back when your senior leaders might say, I don't believe in a campaign approach. Maybe just some confidence that this thing does work. Campaigns consistently in line with a marketing for learning strategy, which is in line with your learning strategy, do work. I promise you. We've seen great impact with our clients. No, it's not the norm. No, it's not the dumb thing. But we've got to stop doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, don't we? So, as always, thank you for listening today. Thank you for your patience with us at the moment. Those of you that don't know, at the time of recording this and probably time of publishing it, Ash's wedding is this weekend. And my wedding is in 3 weeks' time. So we are a little bit stressed. And we've got a lot on our plates. And then we've had illness thrown in on that, just for good measure. So we have been a little slow with the podcast. I'm sorry about that. And I promise you, we'll be back very, very soon with the next episode of the Marketing for Learning podcast. As always, if you have any questions, queries, want to discuss what I've spoken about, want to work out how to challenge your senior leaders about marketing campaigns, please do give me a message on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to speak to you guys. And if not, I will see you on the next episode, guys. Bye.